Hello, hello, precious ones. Judah here. Welcome. Welcome to this space for you, a space and time. We are visiting you from our higher dimensions in this space and time, and it is our pleasure. We look forward to these meetings. And we do have some things to share with you from on high, from higher dimensions, in order to encourage you, to lift you up in the space where you are to unburden your life, and give a lift to your soul, your precious and expansive, eternal Buddha-like parts. We want to expand that part of you tonight through this time together. So as you listen and partake, you may experience a literal and physical, tangible presence with you. You may experience an energetic surge in one or more parts of your body. You may have the sense that there is a presence or presences in the room with you. And yes, angels are there with you, present with you, bringing many presents, my dear. And so whatever you are able to do in this moment to open up and receive, you will find a blessing in the doing of that. So allow yourself to drop down into a meditative and relaxed state and receive the energetic transmission, the power we are bringing to you in your location through this transmission. And let us begin. As the vessel introduced, we are going to talk to you about 5 sources of help for your life. Because some of you are under the mistaken impression that you do not have help, that you are alone. And others of you are beginning to be aware of the presence of angels and other higher dimensional beings. And your eyes are being opened to the potential of their assistance for you. But there is even more to be revealed. So let's begin at the top of the list. The first source of help for you, my dears, is your higher self, your soul. The 5th dimensional, higher dimensional part of who you are. The part of you that is larger than the you that is a physical body with a name and a mother and a father and a home and an occupation and so on. Your higher self is vast and eternal and has taken on, yes, chosen to restrict and constrain itself into the you that you are in the place where you sit at this moment, in order to learn some things, in order to grow, in order to impact humanity, in order to move itself, your soul, along the pathway to enlightenment. And so your higher self is vast. It is perfect. It is unharmed. It is all-knowing. And without limitations of time and space, like the angels, you see. And so your higher self is an extraordinary resource for the living of your life. Some call this higher self intuition. And some of you are afraid. You have fearful parts in your egoic mind that talk you out of trusting and listening to your higher self and leaning on your higher self. And that is unfortunate, because your higher self is completely reliable. And so stick with this one, and you will learn how to distinguish between your mind and your higher self. But for starters, we will say that your higher self is accompanied by a feeling of peace and assurance and knowing, a centeredness. The mind, the voice of the mind is continuously a chattering and noisy and full of anxiety. It is rooted in fear. So you may begin to distinguish between the two by understanding your ego parts. Your fearful parts will be motivated by fear and doubt, and they will be tinged with that sense, whereas your higher self will be guided by love and trust and a peaceful and restful sense of knowing. Your higher self is a continual resource for you that can be trusted and relied upon. And so anything that you hear from any other sources, including the next four sources we will discuss tonight, should be in alignment with your higher self. Your higher self, upon hearing the wisdom or assistance from, let's say, an angel or a spirit guide or a guru or a teacher or any other source, your higher self should say, yes, that aligns with my heart and what I know to be true. And if it does not align with your higher self, simply let it go by the wayside. No need to judge. It simply is not of any benefit for you. Now, the second source we will speak of tonight is universal consciousness. It is the collective of all souls in all space and time, of all races, in and out of the body, on and off world, in many myriad dimensions and locations, and all are interconnected. And within source, in the universal consciousness, one may know all things. And so your higher self is a part of that web of universal consciousness. So as you activate and listen to your higher self, you are becoming connected to and activated with all of universal consciousness. Source, the creator, God. There are myriads of names that you may use, but all of them are inadequate for describing the profundity of this consciousness from which all things are created, sustained, and even destroyed. And source and universal consciousness are always available to you for the asking. Ask and you shall receive. And we would say that there are many things to say about source energy, but one that we will say for now is this: the less you try to define source, the more you will be able to access the treasure of source energy. And so let go of your mental constructs and conceptions, religious trainings and ideologies, anything you think you know and understand about this force called God. And then you may find yourself availed to ever so much more power from this source. For this source is like the sun, the great central sun, which emanates continually at all times life giving energy. Now, the third source of help and assistance for the living of your life is what we will call the great cloud of witnesses, in reference to a biblical reference from Hebrews 13. And this title serves to name the beautiful collective of human souls who once lived and walked on the earth and have now left their earthly bodies and exist in many different dimensions, higher dimensions from the 4th to 12th dimension. And these beautiful souls continue to exist without their physical bodies, and they continue upon their journey of enlightenment. And not all of them, but some of them have more enlightenment, more wisdom, and higher understanding to offer you, because of where they are in their soul's evolution. Some of these souls might be perhaps your father or your grandmother or your great grandfather, or perhaps others unknown and known, such as this vessel recently channeled Helen Keller and Joan of Arc, Edgar Casey, and so on. And you see, each one of these souls of the great cloud of witnesses are cheering you on and constantly offering their, we will say, prayers, for lack of a better word, their intentions, their light and love emanations towards you. And they are a source for you of wisdom and understanding, should you care to ask. Now, the fourth, angels, angels and archangels, of which we are some. We are just one collective of myriads of angels, and we hail to Michael, the archangel. And we are constantly at your beck and call. We are not offended when you ask for our help. We don't feel looked down upon. We consider ourselves servants, but not in the context that you do in your earthly mindset, to serve you in love and to serve Source, the Creator, is our joy and our bliss. And we do not sleep or slumber. We don't take holiday vacation. We don't need a pay raise. We are available to serve you in whatever context is within your best interest. Now, this vessel has recently received several letters from some of you, perhaps even watching, who are frustrated because you have asked both Judah, ourselves, and other angels for assistance, and you feel you have not received an answer. But we assure you, my dear, this is an illusion on your part. If you have asked, then we have answered. And perhaps the answer is on its way, or perhaps you received an answer and you did not like it. But we are asking you in response to, wherever you can, unhook yourself from fear and doubt and continue to love and to trust and continue to ask for our help, for our assistance is being given. We are not limited to time or space, to ideologies or rules, and we manifest instantly. We think the thought, and it is. So be bold, be brave, and keep asking, and keep coming around. And don't stop. And be careful of your words. Be careful when you say, I always ask and I don't get an answer. Be careful not to block yourself and your answers with your fear, doubt, and unbelief. Now, the last source of help we will speak of tonight is really no different than the one of angels, but in your mind and your culture, it seems some different to you. And so for that reason, we will put it in a different category. And we will say the fifth source of help are other cosmic guides, spirit guides from other interstellar races throughout the cosmos. We would likely call them angels, but you might think of them as extra-dimensional beings or ETs. And there are some that are of these races that are coming more and more to the forefront in your culture because of their activity with some human beings. Some, such as the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, the Zeta Reticuli, and others, many others, Mantoids, and so on, Essasanis. But there are myriads of others yet who have yet to introduce themselves formally and overtly to humanity. But all of these beings, not all, but many, are intent on helping humanity. And so you may ask for assistance from any spirit guides that are enlightened in their consciousness of a high vibration and evolution for your help. And we encourage you not to be afraid of being misled. Simply use basic, uncomplicated discernment, which is, if it feels loving and trustworthy, if it produces good fruit, if it causes you to feel better and lightens your load, you can trust in that being. You use basic discernment the same way you would if someone knocked on your door. If they knocked on your door and they were a stranger, you wouldn't turn them away out of hand, but you would use your higher self, your discernment, to determine if the one was safe for opening the door to or not. And this whole nonsense about stranger danger we teach to children is unfortunate. For children, as well as yourself, have basic intuition and discernment about the character of others. When this vessel was a young child in the grocery store with her mother, just 2 or 3 years old, many times she would reach out her arms to a total stranger. And we would say that her intuition was accurate about the ones to which she reached out her arms for an embrace. So embrace cosmic help from any and all sources that come to you if your intuition tells you they have something of value to offer you. And if not, simply shut the door and don't open it.